Hey Grande Alive, welcome to your weekly Newsish Roundup. I'm Will Bowman and...
I still don't have internet access.
And we are the Tie Guys, bringing you the news from the Grande Alive studio in downtown Grande. Alex, what's going on in the news for this week?
Local author publishes a book about things his grandson has said. Around the Mountain, the Art and Faith Conference happening this weekend, and a small briefly section. This list would be incomplete without the New Ignite Business Center.
Only on your weekly Newsish Roundup, brought to you by these, our awesome sponsors. Joey Mallory is a precocious teenager, at least he is according to his grandfather. Mike Mallory has been watching his grandson since he was very small, 4 years old. He spends many evenings in their family hot tub listening to him talk about a variety of subjects. And many times he's been stunned, impressed, and moved by the things that his grandson has said.
Three of us would oftentimes end up in the hot tub together. And Joey is pretty articulate about many subjects and interesting. He's never really, even as a baby, never really talked baby talk. So he talked in complete sentences early, and he started saying these things that were interesting, funny, profound, everything I wished I could do. And so I started kind of writing about them in the mornings, basically for my family.
Now Mike was so moved by these things that he was saying that he began to post them on his Facebook for everyone to see and enjoy. Now quickly, people began to take notice and like these short blurbs that Mike was posting about his grandson's talking. People including his 50-year friend Tom Carroll. Now Carroll saw people's reaction to Mike's post, and he also saw a new side of Mike, a side that was vulnerable, submissive, and somewhat grandfatherly toward his grandson. He thought that there was a story to be found here.
Mike, if you know Mike very well, you know him to be extraordinarily private and very resistant to anyone ever telling him anything about anything. You never tell Mike what to do because he'll not do it, or it won't go well. But Joey was telling Mike what to do. Joey was humiliating Mike, and Mike was honest enough to write it in the story, and of course it was funny, So there again, to rephrase it here, I just simply saw Mike from an angle that he had refused to show anybody, another aspect of, yeah, you're human.
So he decided to change the Facebook posts into a full-fledged book. He took Mike's stories and filled them out with Mike's voice in his literary style. Then he took that and he self-published a book under the name of A View from the Hot Tub. And they're releasing that book this Saturday, and they want everyone to buy one this Saturday.
If they will all buy it on the same day, on Saturday the 13th, there will be a bump, and Amazon's algorithm will notice it, and hopefully we'll get a little extra mention, and they'll push it forward as a new and popular at some level book, and we'll sell a few extra copies. That would be fun. That would just be great to see.
Now, we asked Joey, what does he think about having a book written about himself?
I barely even knew about The View from the Hot Tub when I was 8, I think, when he started writing it. He was typing on his computer, and I was like, get off the computer, I want to get on the computer. It was like, I'm writing View from the Hot Tub. So, as I said, the book, I didn't even know about it until a year after he started writing it. So, I was like, oh, okay, this is something he does normally. He writes really long Facebook things, and it's really annoying. I just felt like, okay, this will move, this will never be a thing. And look where it got me now.
We also asked him, what will he think about this when he's older?
I think I'll look at this when I'm older, something like, I was a weirdo. Still am, but I was smarter then than I am now. Probably be embarrassed by it. I'll be like, wow, I hate my hair.
I want Joey as you were asking him in his segment of the interview, what's he going to think of this in another 10, 20 years? He's going to look back on this and he's going to laugh. And he's going to get a kick out of it. He's going to appreciate that his grandfather paid that much attention to him. And I will have disappeared from the equation by then. This is about Mike, and it's about his grandson. And if it serves to kindle some old memories and remind them of the closeness and the bond of grandfather-grandson, it will have achieved its purpose.
You can purchase this book on Amazon this Saturday. This story is brought to you by
How do art and faith fit together? This is the question that the hosts of the Art and Faith Conference are asking at their first annual Art and Faith Conference this weekend at the Grand Lumiere Event Center. Now, the event is hosted by a local pastor, Jason Link. He's also a self-published author, and this is a question that he thinks a lot about.
And if you notice, like Catholicism has a lot of beautiful artwork still, or Eastern Orthodox churches are. You go into an Eastern Orthodox cathedral and it's just gorgeous, and it's covered with images and with art. And Catholic churches, they put a lot into their cathedrals, and they're beautiful.
Yeah.
But I think there was a lot of anti-Catholic sentiment during the split. And so you go to churches in Germany and you'll find that they're old, but they're very austere. And I think this, like, if it looks Catholic, then it has to be, then we have to do away with it. So there's a lot of this anti-Catholic sentiment towards art, which is really unfortunate.
Now, Jason believes that churches need to use their artists. They need to give them places of service and leaderships and ways to use their gifts and help them to shape the churches and the future of the church as a whole.
And that's a shame. As we, as members of the church, we like to affect culture, but when you kind of kick out your artists who are culture makers, if you kick them out or don't give a place for them, then you're kind of getting rid of that avenue in which you as a church can affect culture.
Interesting.
So that's also another. That's another avenue I'd like to go down, is like, because this festival is going to be geared towards artists, and I'm going to say, hey, you have a place in the church. I want you to know that you need to use your gifts, and there is a place, but there should be a place for you. But it's also two-pronged. I'm talking to the artists, but I'm also going to be talking to churchgoers, people who are church leaders, and I'm going to say, hey, utilize your artists, please.
Now, this conference is going to focus on the question of how art and faith fit together. There'll be a talk starting at 10 a.m. by local people of faith who are also artists. After that, there will be booths and demonstrations across the Grande marketplace. It'll finish off with the service in the Lumiere Event Center, hosted by 6 on Saturdays at 6 p.m. The event is going to be this Saturday, October 13th, 2018. Want to know more? Visit the Facebook event. Also, the full interview with Jason Link is available on the Grande Live's Facebook and YouTube accounts. This story was brought to you by
The Ignite Business Center in La Grande opened its doors this Tuesday. Now, the Ignite Business Center is a long-seated project of Christine Jarsky, the La Grande Urban Renewal Coordinator.
Well, Ignite is a couple things. One, it's a co-working space, so that's what we're in today, is the physical co-working space. Two, it is a partnership between Northeast Oregon Economic Development District and the city. So we will be able to offer a variety of services here at the center, again, co-working and leased space, and that's primarily for people that maybe are home-based or just need a place to land for a day or a couple days. They can come, lease dedicated desk space, become members, and so that's what the physical space does.
Christine wants the business center to be a place where people who want to start or already own small businesses can go for help.
For those who need it, the center offers help in starting a new business, providing grants for small business, loans, and a professional space for people to come, work, and meet. Other people at the meeting weighed in about the Ignite Center and what it'll bring to the town.
I'm really supportive of the idea of having a place where people can come to get the information. that they need to start their business. And as Lisa and Christine were talking, I'm going, you know, I've had this kernel of an idea for a long time, and now that I'm retired, maybe I have a place to come and grow it.
A lot of times a business, the person who's taking care of it is going to show how successful it can be. And I think with Christine being here, this is going to be a very successful place to be for community and new people here. So.
Now, the Unite Center is going to be open Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can set up an appointment with any of the members or just go and hang out. This was sponsored by
Jumping into this week's episode, we'll have our coaches edition of Around the Mountain with EOU men's and women's soccer coaches Zach Mills and Jacob Plucker. First, let's cover some of the recent happenings from EOU athletics.
Women's soccer had a good weekend on the road after finishing 1-0-1 after tying Northwest on Friday. EOU crushed Evergreen 3-0 on Sunday. Natalie Mitchell led the team with 2 goals on the weekend.
Men's soccer tied twice on the road at Northwest and Evergreen, with both matches ending 2-2. Connor Young had both goals on Friday, while Carlos Solorio had a goal and an assist on Sunday at Evergreen. The Mounties are currently tied for 6th in the CCC and head back on the road to Multnomah and War Pacific in Portland.
Volleyball ran its win streak to 10 games with a sweep of Oregon Tech on Friday on the road. Then, in a battle of top 15 ranked teams, EOU fell to number 10 Southern Oregon in 4 sets on Saturday. The Mounties are home this weekend against Warner Pacific and Multnomah for Dig Pink Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend.
Football crushed Montana State Northern 58-24, led by 637 yards of offense. Currently, the offense ranks first in the Frontier Conference with 480.2 yards per game. With this win, EOU moved up to number 24 in the NAIA ranking, the first time in the top 25 this year. Next up, they'll have a rematch with number 7 Southern Oregon on Saturday at 12 p.m. in Ashland.
Men's basketball opens its season this Friday and Saturday with the Quinn Classic. The Mountains host Salish Kootenai on Friday at 4 p.m. and New Hope Christian on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. The EOU cross-country teams are back in action on Saturday at the Lewis Clark State Invitational.
Now please welcome EOU head men's soccer coach Zach Mills and head women's soccer coach Jacob Plucker.
Yeah, I think that was one important thing that we addressed when Zach got hired on, as far as we want our teams to be there for each other and support each other, and I'm there to help him and he's there to help me. Because again, it's kind of that 2 teams, 1 family, and we're going to be more successful when we're kind of bouncing ideas off of each other. So being able to, kind of go with one another like that, it's going to be beneficial.
Yeah, I agree with that big time. I mean, you can tell when both teams are doing well, they're feeding off each other. And it's really helpful. Obviously, the women's team is doing an incredible job, and we're just trying to make our mark as well. So it's really nice to see the teams working together. He and I do pretty well. Well, obviously, it's almost like a friendly competition. Like the women's team gets the W. We definitely want to do the same thing, but not only for to have that, hey, we're winners as well, but also because the bus ride home is just so much better when we both win and we can just party on the bus and have a good time.
Yeah, it's definitely a healthy competition. You can also use it as kind of some teaching points. So if maybe the men's team's playing first and maybe they skate by, or maybe they're struggling this or that, we can then kind of talk with our team and say, hey, look, we have to make sure that we show up because we don't want kind of the same type of thing happening, or vice versa, And then also it's always nice when, whichever team, goes first is able to hopefully have the win in the result, and then able to support and be a little bit more cheerful than had they have lost. Yeah. So
that's the camaraderie that comes with not just the women's soccer, but all the other sports. I'm a big fan of how the athletic department works together. I definitely wanted that, and I could, one reason I think I accepted the position was because I could feel that family environment. So that was a big part of it for me.
Yeah, to me, again, I think it's being able to be successful, but just being competitive, whether that's internally between the athletic department, whether that's with our girls, whether that's with our teams. I'm a pretty competitive person, so anything that we can kind of compete and kind of get after a little bit is always fun. Favorite athlete is Jerry Rice. Okay, hands down, he's the GOAT, okay? No problem. Soccer player though, and it's probably going to catch a lot of people off guard, is Pablo Mastroeni. He was a men's national team player way back when. I just love the heart and the hustle that he played with. They say he wasn't flashy, he wasn't fancy, but you know he wasn't going to get outworked, and he was always a joy to watch. I would like to note that Pablo wore number 25 for the men's national team, so that's kind of another reason why he's awesome.
Okay. Soccer player, as much as I think it might be changing, Lionel Messi is just incredible. He's fun to watch. He, you know, especially in his prime, you know, never going down, always making the right decision, being creative. I just like that style of play.
We're going to see how much we can learn about our EOU soccer coaches with a little game of Never Have I Ever. Enjoy.
Yeah. I can't really think of any times, but I'm just sure. I'm certain of it. I'm certain of it.
I mean, I don't have a story about my own, but another coaching buddy of mine was trying to talk with his assistant about a player who was unhappy with some things, and he actually sent it to the player instead of the coach.
Yep.
So that was an interesting conversation.
For sure.
Not at EOU though.
No.
Not EOU. Not EOU. And honestly, I try so hard not to use that word, but it was a nightmare. Oh yeah. I like that though. A lot of people don't. It's fun. Sleep paralysis, a couple times.
See, that's that ongoing do you not do you. I think you tend to because you show the ones that are working hard or doing the things right, and so that kind of gravitates, you know, things like that. So it's a very tricky question.
That's a good answer. I'm just gonna say this because I have Pooms on my team, so obviously, guys.
I've gotten more cards as a coach than I have as a player.
Whoa. Okay. As a coach, I have not been ejected as a game from a game. Yet. It's coming, guys. Be ready. Excuse me? Yes.
Flirted or right?
Flirted. I mean.
See, if this was Bobby, it would be yes, because I know multiple times we talked about it. But.
I don't know.
Female friend?
Huh? No. Had to flirt with the guy. It worked out well. Honestly, listen, he was about to give me a ticket because I was having to use the restroom on the side of the highway, pretty much. But I didn't want to pee my pants. And he came out and he was like talking to me about it. And he was a pretty big dude. And I said, "Listen, sir," I said, I know you've taken creatine before." And he was like, "Well," and I said, "You know how it makes you pee all the time?" And he was like, "Oh, you're right."
That's a wrap for this episode of Around the Mountain. If you want to share your opinion for our next guest on the show, be sure to comment on this video on any of our social media platforms. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
And today in our Briefly section, we just have one quick look at an upcoming book release. Alex?
It's not every day that a former mayor of LeGrande publishes a book, but Daniel Picerni has written a memoir called Tragedy to Grace. It's a book about finding God's good and life's bad. He's having 2 book signings this Friday. One Friday at noon at Joe Bean's, and then later at 7 p.m. in Island City Hall.
And that's your weekly Newsish Roundup. I'm Will Bowman, and
hopefully I'll be able to watch this soon.
And we are the Tie Guides, bringing you the news every week from Grande Live. One more big shout out for our sponsors. Be sure to like and share this video and tune into Grande Live for more local content. I'm Will Bowman.